Okay, here we go. Shit. Peanut? Really? Hello, how is everyone doing on this fine day? We all doing good? How's life? How's things? You been looking after yourselves? You had a good week? I don't believe that you're bitter at all, JJ. At all. So I'm kind of excited to do this. Kind of dreading it at the same time. My day I've pretty much been in bedridden. And my mum picked me up so I'd eat something. And now I'm back. Here I am. So we will see how this all goes. Hoping to read a lot more books this year. There's some books that aren't on here because I didn't fully finish them. I kind of cancelled them a bit. There's one on here that I did not finish. But I plan to kind of give it another chance, so I'll talk about that when we get to it. Are we all doing good? We're all fine. I hope so. At least. But how many books did I read? Was it 46? Let me count my books. 46 books. Okay, there we go. There's 46 books. We are basically ranking. That was me trying to maths and count, because apparently I'm bad. There's some game books in here, because we've done some live streams of them, so they are on here too. And I'll waffle on about them and all that jazz. Can I just pick any one? Oh, I can. I didn't know. So most of these are going to be Lone Wolf game books. Let's see if this takes you as long as Vented. How long did his take? Like 3 hours or something like that, didn't it? I don't think mine will take that long at all. At all. So, the Lone Wolf, Shadow of the Sun. It won't. It probably won't. How you doing, Ven? You alright? It took you 4 hours? This won't take that long at all. So, the first book here is Lone Wolf, Shadow of the Sun. I think that's book 3, it may be. It only had the old cover I could find. Hey Jenny, how you doing? He lacks stamina. Hey, I have good stamina, right? Just not the past 5 months. So mean, so mean. But here we go. So Shadow of the Sand, it's a Lone Wolf book. I'm obviously going to put that at A because I think A, it's fun, it's brilliant for all ages, and it's just the story itself is really good, though it's not the first one. It still holds that sort of like, ooh, magic and stuff like that. Dark Inside. Now, I originally read this many, many years ago, and then I reread it again in 2024. Basically, an earthquake happens all around the world, and when that happens, some people start to change, not physically, but mentally, and like they're possessed by something. And these group of survivors, mostly young people, not a lot of adults are the same. They mostly get killed by the people who have changed mentally. Normally these group of young people trying to survive, figure out on what's going on, and it's a pretty good read. I'm going to put that at A. It's a good read. I probably wouldn't read it again now that I'm older, but I still enjoyed it because it just was like nostalgia more for me than anything. Jim Butcher, The Dresden Files, Book 1. Nah, didn't enjoy it. It was kind of a drag to read. Everyone says it's the worst book of the whole series and that it gets better as it goes along. There was some interesting bits in it, but it was mostly just the character himself. I don't remember what the character's called. Was just a pig, a sexist pig, who was overly confident and every now and then was just walking around naked because he could. I'm gonna put that at C. I'm putting these in different orders than what I rated them on Goodreads at the same time, I've noticed. Oh, Whistling should have its own tier, but the lowest I'm gonna go for is D. Lightning Thief. Who is the author again, Jenny? I can't remember. You're obsessed with them. I can't remember what they're called anymore at the moment, unfortunately. My apologies. I'm trying to remember. Who is it? That one, Rick. Thank you very much. Thank you. One of you spelt it right, one of you didn't. Spelt not like that. Okay, got it. If I started reading this when I was younger, I think I would have enjoyed it a lot more. It was still an interesting read. I like the take that it did with the gods and the children of said gods and goddesses. So we're going to put it at a B for me. Is that a B? Is that a B? But like that. Got it. The one thing that I don't know is there we go. Chat should now be working. I don't know why I wasn't showing before. That was annoying. I started reading those when I was 19. Yeah, that's a fine age to start reading them. I think anything from like, I'd probably say from like 12 up to like 19, 20, maybe 21, 22. I think that's fine. I think if I read it around when I was that age, I think that would have been fantastic for me. I think what I wanted, like writing style wise, I think I just wanted a little bit more. You know? The Temple is a H.P. Lovecraft story about this German submarine. It's basically narrated this German guy who's basically written letters, and it's set in the war where they shoot a submarine down, recording it with the survivors getting away, then they kill the survivors as they're escaping. And one of the bodies kind of washes on the submarine as it's kind of swimming away. Swimming away like a fish. And the body is holding like a kind of totem for some eldritch fish thing. They're aged 9 to 12. That's fine. That's fine. And it's how basically, because of this idol that they find, everything goes downhill in this submarine. And if you don't have, like, your German logic and strong will with you, you're going to get killed. As the submarine gets basically stranded and stuck, slowly sinking, with resources running out, air going away. And because of this, everyone just starts going mentally crazy. It's a short story. It was a good read. Obviously, it has the whole kind of sort of German racism, Nazis and all that stuff in there. But it's a twisted read, and obviously I enjoyed that sort of stuff. I wouldn't put it at S. I'd probably put it more at a B, because while it's one of my favorites, it's not my top favorite one that I've ever read. Story of O is that French book that was translated to English really badly, and I feel like I was very harsh with it because of the translation issues. Don't know if I would read that again. I probably not, even though I own the book now on my Kindle. Just because of the translation issues, and because of that, I couldn't enjoy the story as it was originally intended, because it was very literal how it was translated. I'm gonna stick that there. Fun times. How's everyone's weekend going, by the way? We all good? Everyone good? Everyone grand, by the way? Naked in Death, JD Robb. I love my, like, kind of crime sort of series. Read this when I was, like, 20 years old. Read it again in 2024. Still enjoyed it. Still loved it. Loved the characters. Hated that the character's backstory was always being kind of, like, fallen onto. Like, she had something really traumatic happen to her. That's why she's this way. Yes, she's a strong character, but kind of, you know, don't rely on that as much as you can. But I know in the other books that it moves away from that. Like she starts to heal and progress and as herself. But I'm gonna slap that with B. Please give Dresden more of a shot. Some of the characters that come up are great. I love his dog Mouse. Well, I'm definitely gonna read more. I just didn't enjoy the first book, because I've heard great things about the series. So I will be giving it another shot. Don't get me wrong. I always give things another shot, which I'll get to very soon when we get to Atlas 6. So, don't worry, we will get there. I will be giving the second and third book a go with the Dresden Files, because I've heard, obviously, the first one is not that good, but it progresses and gets better as the stories go along. A lot of people have told me to listen to the audiobooks more than read the books, but I'm always I struggle sometimes with audiobooks, like the narrator's voice doesn't work well sometimes with the book that they're reading, and I sometimes find that grating in the most nicest way possible. Now, I've listened to some really good audiobooks, I'll tell you that, though. Last year I listened to episode 13. That is a fantastic audiobook with voice actors. Oh, so good. Cold Shadows is a paranormal sort of horror where this girl was traumatized as a child by a ghost that was kind of like a fire demon. Peanut, no! Why would you do that? James Masters. Oh, he is. Oh, I love his voice. You can't go wrong with James Masters from Buffy. For sure. Sorry, Peanut's lying on the keyboard. I'm trying to move her away. Thanks, Peanut. No. And she kind of has this, she's sort of a paranormal group, her and this one other girl, and then eventually another guy joins in who is like a psychic. And it's very dark, the things that happen in it. Kitty Revolution, it really is. I actually really enjoyed this read. It has its quirky and kind of the slapstick character in it, the one who always likes to tell jokes. But it's written really well, so I'm actually gonna... I'm not going to put it there. I'm not going to... yeah, no, no. I'm going to put it at B. I'll put it at B. But I know the books get a lot better, the series, as it goes on. So there's that. Now, Atlas 6. I originally DNF'd this book because it was multiple people's perspectives for the same thing. And I stopped around about just over 100 pages. No, I got about halfway into the book and I DNF'd it. I actually continued with it around Christmas and continued from where it was at. And I can understand with the ending why you have to read it all the way through to the end to just kind of get past the little nitpicks about this. What was it? Dark Academia Magic School is the best way to say it. I felt like I needed to because it was bugging me. And I enjoyed it a little bit more when I went back to it, kind of making sure I kind of took them step back and went to read it. I don't think it deserved the 1 star that I originally gave it. I'm going to actually slap it at C. But I know that I'm going to reread this again because I feel like I've missed something with it. Like, because I only started, like, halfway from, like where I stopped it originally and then went back to it. I feel like I need to read it from the beginning to really grasp the whole entirety of it. Entirety? English? So I'm going to leave it at C for now. At least the 2 stars. It was mainly just... I understand why there's the different perspectives for the same type of things, for, like, their own little things that they're doing. But it made sense towards the end. I do recommend the audio, though. Not sure I would have vibed with the written version as much. I could definitely try listening to it with the audio. I think I might enjoy it more, because reading it was a bit of a slog. I'll give it that. Four Against Darkness is a solo RPG. It's fantastic for new people who want to kind of delve into it and don't know where to start. I think it's fantastically laid out. Character creation's really simple. And all you need is the main book, basically. You don't have to get all the other different expansions, stuff like that. And a lot of people make free resources on the Facebook page that you can join. I do not have it. I don't have my book yet because it's currently lost in post. So I'm not a happy boy. So no, I don't have my book. It's in transit for the past 3 days. They don't know where it's gone. So my special edition will be with me at some point. I don't know when. So if you're new into like solo RPGs, definitely go for. Shit, what's this one called? I think it's called The Web of Sorrow. And it's a LRPG, you know, where it's written as someone who's into gaming. They get lost in kind of like this gaming world type of thing. It's so annoying, right? It's really upset me because I've had a really shit day. And I was kind of hoping it would have arrived yesterday or today. Might be tomorrow, might be the next day. Who knows? But we'll see. We'll see. As soon as I get it, I'll probably post pictures of it. It was an okay read. It kind of slogged a bit as you kind of got into it because it was all about how this character started to level up, and the intro was absolutely fantastic, very graphic and gory about how they defeated this boss in this game before the world was just like closed down, and how she loses her friends and she kind of like doesn't want people to know who she is. And no, I like my physical books, JJ, you take that back. And she decides to recreate herself in this new game that's kind of like on a beta kind of testing sort of thing. And it's really good until you realize everything's really predictable of it. So I'm just going to slap that. Had a really good beginning, but it just dragged and fell straight afterwards. Never. You be quiet, okay? You be nice to me. Stephen King, It. I read that. I struggled with this one so much. Not just because it was a big book, because it is thick. It is a thick book, and I should have listened to Jenny's warning about it. But I was like, no, I'm going to enjoy Cat, and I'm going to read it. So different from the movies, because it's pretty much like all the movies in one, and it starts at different places. How things were written and described, not my cup of tea. Absolutely hated this book. But I know that when the time it was written, it was fantastic. A lot of years have passed since then. But for me, it was not it. Yeah, I need to watch that video, by the way, because it's popped up. But yeah, no, I did not enjoy it at all. I have some of his other books that I know I'm going to enjoy because obviously he's grown with the times. Like, his writing changes as the years grow. So I'm more excited about reading the stuff, but I'm going to slap that in D. That scene can go stuff itself, by the way. Absolutely stuff itself. We did a live playthrough of The House on Sentinel Hill, and we got stuck in a loop of death. Now, I love my Lovecraft. I'm a huge fan of Lovecraft, anything Cthulhu, anything Eldritch, and creepy horror investigation. Oh yeah, I've not watched the second one yet, Jenny. We still need to watch that, by the way. We got stuck in a death loop, and there was no way to get out of it. And then we tried to play it again, and we got stuck in a different death loop because we were missing things. And it's a brilliant story, but the amount of death loops we got into was kind of bad. But I'm going to put that in C. Oh, now September House. September House. I loved September House. September House is about a woman who buys her dream home with her husband, who is kind of an alcoholic and kind of sort of abusive. He tried to get out of that, but it is what it is. Husband goes missing, wife doesn't seem to care. The best thing about her dream house is that every September, the ghosts in the house wake up. And the ghosts are kind of around non-stop anyway, but it's in September specifically where things go crazy. And just before September hits, when everything was supposed to go crazy, she gets, basically, her daughter rings her and is basically like, I'm going to come down because Dad's missing and we're going to find him. And she's like, well, come after September. And the daughter's like, I'm already on my way. I'll be there like the 1st of September. And it's about how this mother is trying to also make sure her daughter doesn't get traumatized from the ghosts in the house, trying to keep the ghosts placid as the walls start to drip blood and drench the floor. And she basically has to wake up like 3 in the morning to kind of like clean up everything to make sure the house is somewhat normal for her daughter, while also trying to help her find a husband. And the whole dynamic of the mother and daughter, and then the ghosts that are around, and then the police. Beautiful, fantastic, loved it. Absolutely enjoyed it. Will read again. I still want to watch the original. We can watch it. We can watch it for sure. Hell yeah. Paradise 1 by... Oh, ow. Where is it? David Wellington. There we go. Ow. Loved the first book. Absolutely creepy, fast pace. How crazy it is about alien AI parasite with this kind of sort of eldritch sort of feel to it. Absolutely loved it. It's so good. So good. We can still do that. We can watch the original. I'm down. Alexa Petrova is absolutely amazing as a character in it. It's very strong-willed, hard-headed person. Had some bad stuff happen in the past because of her mother. Her mother was kind of like in charge of, I wouldn't say armies, democracy, I don't know, something along them lines, and gets shipped to a planet called Paradise 1. Paradise 1, no one has heard from them for about 18 months. And Alex, with her little small crew, little hand-picked crew, are basically on the way to Paradise 1 as things go batshit crazy. And it's brilliant. I could do it, definitely do it as a Discord one for sure. I'll be slapping this at S as a first sci-fi kind of horror type of thing. I loved this. It was brilliant. The Whistling. Now, me and Ven read The Whistling. We both hated The Whistling. It wasn't what it was advertised in the back. The back said one thing. The story was a completely other thing. The writing was meh. The characters were just kind of meh. And while it did talk about whistling, it wasn't the main focus. It was just a really crap read. It was very boring. I expected it to be more gothic because I like my gothic stories. And it just wasn't there for me. And it was really disappointing as a read. I'm slapping that down here. Ugh. Ugh. So, A Court of Thorn and Roses. We know what Ven's view is on A Court of Thorn and Roses. He does not enjoy it. It's very loosely based off Beauty and the Beast. The first half of the story is meh, about how Feyre sees a wolf. Did it, Ven? Did it? Feyre sees a wolf and is like, could be Fey. It's big enough to be a Fey, but my stomach has the rumblies, so I'm gonna kill it. And then has to deal with the consequences of that. Really, Ven? Why didn't she? So the first half is her just being dim, not listening to what everyone's telling her to do with the rules, which are there for her safety. And then the second half is how she kind of learns a bit more about things, realize, oh, shit's really hit the fan. I was completely blind to everything while not listening to people who wanted me to protect me. But I liked the second half of the book. The first half was really meh. Was it worth the I don't know, all the stuff that happened with TikTok and booktube with it? No. So it was pretty much a B read for me. The last half of the book really saved the book for me. Hey Witcher, how you doing? It's not Beauty and the Beast, it's East of the Sun and West of the Moon. It's a Norwegian folktale. I don't know what that is. Also, how you doing? How's your week going? How is schooling going? And how is the family? For us, it's Beauty and the Beast in the UK, right? We don't have Norwegian fantasy. But I enjoyed the second half of the book. That really like raised it up for me. I'm enjoying the second book for sure. So who knows what's going to happen with the rest of the series. The music of Eric Zahn is a H.P. Lovecraft short story. This is about how a guy is retelling his account of how he got lost in these weird, windy alleyways and streets until he finds like a place where he can lay his head at, a little inn. And as he stays there for a few days, he keeps hearing someone above him playing the violin. And eventually, as he listens to it, he notices weird things kind of happening around. The second half is good, Witchy, I'm telling you. Hey, Darkstar, how you doing? How's life? How's things? Love the heart. Ignore the haters, by the way. And as he kind of eventually goes up to this violinist in the room above him, he listens in and realizes that as this guy starts playing this violin, the outside of the window, eldritch things are type of happening and the music's getting more and more intense and crazy, and the sounds that this violin is making isn't making sense. And as he looks at the violinist, Eric Zahn, he realizes that the man is actually dead and he's playing his violin while he's dead, and it just goes to this huge like cataclysm of music and lightning and thunder, and he's never been able to find that place since. That's my heights of it. I keep the Hearts of Hades in there. I think that's really good. I'm going to put that at A. I really enjoyed it. It's a very short story, only a couple of pages, but the way that it's written and described, it flows really beautifully. Like, it belongs to be played with music in the background. You do need to get your review up. I need to watch it. Now, this one, is this Carnosaurus? What is that one? Ah, shit. What is this one? No, it's not Carnosaurus. What is it? We read it live with dinosaurs. It's a Splatterpunk. There's a second one to it. Is it Splatosaurus? It's Splatosaurus. There we go. Killer Eyes needs to be in jail. Wait, I need... Splatosaurus was a fun read. I actually really enjoyed it. I need to read the second one for live as well, for us all. I actually enjoyed it. I like anything to do with dinosaurs. I'm always a whore for. I love when Gore's involved with it as well. Some bits that can make people very uncomfortable, especially when it comes to the rednecks, about how they talk about a certain person. But it's Splatterpunk, and it does that because it can. It was a good read. I'll put that at B. If I can actually just... Can I drag you up, please? Am I not allowed to drag you up? Hello? I broke it. I broke everything. I've broke it, everyone. I don't know what I've done. Fuck. You say Hearts of Haters, but I just found out what you can actually forge a sword from the blood of... You can. How many liters is it? It's a few bodies that you need for it, but you can actually, because of the iron in the blood, you can actually do that. Guys, I broke my thing, and I don't know why. Hello? Guys, it's broke. I don't know what I did. Can't move anything. Peanut's also on the keyboard, that's why, you bitch! There we go. Spinosaurus was fun. Peanut was laying on the... No, Peanut was laying on the keyboard. She was laying on the keyboard. You need at least 300 people to get enough iron. There we go. A few bodies, that's what I'm saying. Obviously, Lone Wolf, Flight of the Dark was a really good first book. Was it Flight or Fight? I don't know. Either way, good book. We got the Summer Sword. Just move the cat. I did move the cat. That's why I can move it again. I didn't realize Peanut was laying on the keyboard. Really good book. Wish I kind of got into the Lone Wolf series a lot younger. But it's a good little read. I'm going to slap that at A. Now, I'm a whore for Pokemon. I grew up with Pokemon, watching the anime and the games. And I never really got into the manga, which especially Pokemon Adventurers. And I very quickly realized that with the manga, specifically Adventures, very not really child safe, because when they have Pokemon battles, it's not just, oh, they're unconscious. It's no, that Pokemon is dead. That Pokemon got cut in half. That Pokemon is deceased. Here's the dead body on the page. It was like, damn. But it's really good. It moves at a fast pace, and I enjoyed it. It's going to go up here. Love it. Absolutely love it. Revenant X is the second book for Paradise Swan. It is censored in the UK one, but there's still the bodies of the Pokemon on there, which is just mind-blowing. Because when I read it, I was like, damn. It sucks that they're censored, though. I wish they weren't. The guys forever, the keys will have to move. Yes, for sure. Just move the whole keyboard. Revenant X is the second book for Paradise Swan. And it's a trilogy. The third one will be coming out this year at some point. It has, as Ven calls it, middle book syndrome. This is when they get onto the planet to see what happened to all these colonists, like 18,000 people, and no one's there. And it really sucks here because the first book was all about this big bad thing, which was known as the Basilisk, and how crazy powerful this was, and how it can fuck people up mentally and physically, and how it messed up all the ships that were kind of like around orbit of the planet and the people inside of it. and our main girl, Alex, basically lets the basilisk in the head so they can get to the planet to see what's going on. And the basilisk is just quiet because it's scared of something that's on the planet. And it kind of sucks because it takes this whole backseat, and it's pretty much how everyone just goes from point A to point B to point C, while also having a stereotypical, like, hive mind yet zombie type of thing. And it really brought it down to me because it was so... I knew what was happening instantly. So, middle book syndrome. I'm going to put this is going to sound really bad. I'm putting it at C because of that, because it was kind of it took me a while to read, which sucks, because it was a thick book. But I'm excited for the last one of the series because there's now a time limit on it. Because it's going to be fast-paced back to the first one. This one was just kind of really stagnant of them moving around without anything really happening. But at the ending of the book, it was pretty much, there's a time limit now. So everything's going to be getting fast-paced. I'm excited for that, and hopefully that really brings it back. What Feasts at Night, T. Kingfisher, is the second book. The other one is What Moves the Dead. Loved What Moves the Dead. What Feasts at Night was a really interesting way of kind of like building in the characters a bit more. And kind of how... I don't know how you'd say it. It's kind of like fairy tales. They're hunting a fairy tale kind of a way. That wasn't this year. That was last year. It was literally like in December last year. So I can understand why you would think that then, but no. Don't know about that. Really good. Still enjoyed the read. Kind of expected more, just a little bit, but I still enjoyed the read. It was kind of meh at the same time, but I hope that T. Kingfisher writes more, because it could be like our own little... I don't know, it's like a really old version of like Scully and Mulder. So I'm going to put that at B. Thought you were hiding your reads again. Nope. Nope, nope. Butcher and Blackbird. Now, Ven was the one who showed me this. They need more spicy vampires to entertain us. You know what it was? It was more kinks than anything, and really bland about how the smell of books and blood were like the same. It was like, meh. It wasn't a great read. I didn't enjoy that book at all. Butcher and Blackbird. Now, I did enjoy this book. Ven kindly told me to read it. I loved the book. The characters, the banter was brilliant. Things that happened. Some of it made me cringe, especially when you get to the ice cream bit. It was really uncomfortable for me. But everything else I loved. I wished like there was like another book as a follow-up to them. Have more about the dynamic and how they go after all these other people. I would love that. Absolutely fantastic. That's an S book for me. I have a couple of T. Kingfisher books before me. You think it's so mid-witchy? I mean, I wouldn't say it's S. I would probably say more of an A than anything. I did enjoy it. I really did enjoy it. It was fantastic for me. I enjoyed it. I have a couple of T. Kingfisher books behind me. I've not read them, though. But I'm ready to. I'm ready to really get back into my reading for sure. What was so mid for you with Butcher and Blackbird? Also, Dark Stars, seriously, it's a read. Ven recommended it to me, and I love him for it because it was brilliant. Nettle and Bone is really good. Is that the third one, or is that the... Oh, Nettle and Bone is T. Kingfisher. I don't think I have that one. I find, see, depending on the kind of, like, fantasy, fairy tale type of things they go in for, it was... It depends for me. Like, it really does. Actor is also mid, but at least fun. Butcher and Blackbird was not. I thought it was fun. I genuinely did. The first T. Kingfisher book I read was A Sorceress Comes to Call, and I loved it. I've not heard of that one. The first book I ever read by T. Kingfisher was What Moves the Dead, and I love that book. Like, I love that book with a passion. The cover is beautiful, and I enjoyed their take on the story. Like, I really, really did. Fairy Godmothers. Oh. Jurassic Park. Now, Jenny was the one who kept telling me to read this, and eventually I did. And it is so twisted and so dark from the movie. Like, it was a shock to the system, and which I hated most of the characters, but I was there for the trauma for it. Like, for real. It was new out last year. Oh, I did not know that. I will have to have a look. I will definitely have to have a look. But Jurassic Park made me laugh a certain bit with the T-Rex. Hated the children, hated the old man, their grandfather, but I loved the story anyway. But it was a good read. I'm going to slap... The only thing that I hated was it kept throwing in your face, like... Oh, shit, what does it throw into your face? Not the butterfly effect. Science. It throws science in your face like you don't know the basic of a lot of things. Like, you're really stupid, and it keeps using that as a basis, which I really hated, but I loved the story. Seriously, I so wanted them, JJ. Chaos Theory, thank you. Kept throwing Chaos Theory in your face constantly. It was like, yes, you've already mentioned it like 5 times. You can stop it. I understand Chaos Theory. I know Chaos Theory. You don't need to keep throwing it in my face. Which was really frustrating and annoying. It did take a lot away from me, but I enjoyed the read. I'm going to pop it there. Being a true crime girly, the ice cream part didn't really get to me. It was a basic rom-com with no humor, bad third act breakup, and a weak woman character if you read between the lines. Oh, I do not read between the lines, baby. I do not. I don't know why I said that just now. See, I love my true crime as well. Like, I am a whore for true crime. And Butcher and Blackbird is not the kind of true, like crime book that I read normally. So it was so interesting to me, and I think that's probably why I enjoyed it so much. I really liked the banter. I love the film made the characters better, but changed who lived and died. Oh yeah, I just think everyone should have died, I'm not gonna lie. And the fact that there's more Jurassic Park books I just didn't know about, and I'm like, oh. But then again, it's like, will you throw Chaos Theory back in my face throughout these books? Who knows? Who knows? Good enough. Okay. So, Curtain of Thalos is a solo RPG book. If you're new into solo RPG, I would not recommend. It's still a good book, but I think you have to be a bit more practice with it, because there's so much stuff that you have to kind of remember and understand. And for that reason, because I was new into it, I really struggled with it. It's a good story. I like the whole, when you get to make your own maps and your character kind of levels up and you gain stuff. But the amount of, like, things that can fuck you up is unhinged. So I'm probably going to put that at C. Now this one, originally I got I accidentally zoomed in. Now this book here, Don Juan Velociraptor, I originally got this book for Jenny as a joke. Is basically dinosaur erotica, and it's fucking awful. I read it. It's like 60% of the pages is the book, and then the other 40 pages are like from different book chapters of different dinosaurs. It's terrible. It's fucking hilarious at the same time, but when it gets into detail about when you're having sex, like a dinosaur decides to have sex with a woman in the science lab, and then it turns into like there's more than one dinosaur joining in. Then all of a sudden it goes to a different story where there's a talking dinosaur, because it's all about the pheromones that they can release and stuff. It was mental and unhinged, but people love them books, and I don't know why. I regret reading it. I read a bit to Greg and I read a bit to Katie. I was like, check this out. You see the man get his hands dirty whenever in the woman is basically fades to black. Can't we see get kick-ass? He's super possessive of her, which give me the ick, just not my thing. It's also got boring partway through. Fair and understandable. I can see where you're coming from. I still enjoyed it, I'm sorry. I enjoyed it so much. Mimi's Tales of Horror by Juno Ito is a fantastic artist who went around and got people's stories, their true life stories of when things have happened to them, strange, uncomfortable, paranormal type of stuff, and put them down on paper as drawings. And some of the stories are unhinged and creepy, and it's so well drawn and so well written. Milo needs to be quiet. Milo, we're having a conversation. It's fantastic. I absolutely enjoyed it. I need to get more of Junoi Ito's stuff. I know there's some ones where I remember Greg was one who actually originally told me about Junoi Ito, and it was about circles, about this, how this guy was obsessed with like spirals and circles, and it just goes mental from there. They're all short stories in the book, but they're all based on true events that people have experienced, that he's put down on paper. I absolutely loved it. It's twisted, and the fact that people have experienced these things is bizarre to me. That's fair. Don't want to yuck your yum. Yuck your yum. I Married My Minotaur Boss is a monster romance. The story itself was actually, the idea of the story was really good about you know, them stupid live love shows and stuff like that. And then it just goes into she's a weak woman and he's this tall, brutish minotaur who kind of was like, yes, she is my mate, but she's not, and I don't want to hurt her. But also at the same time, I'm still going to go for it, and then use her for the schmecks, and then be like, it was all a lie, and then everything gets fixed. I like Junoi too. I still have a couple on my Kindle to get through. Definitely. Like, love Junoi too. This one was, nah. At the bottom in D. I read it. It was an experience, not my cup of tea. I don't want to hurt her, just pound her into... That's pretty much it, Darkstar. Pretty much it. And then it was just full of... There was a lot of... It was messy. There was a lot of mess. Take that as what you will. It wasn't a good time. So much of a mess. But having worse ways to go. What? Oh, I don't know what's wrong. Chasm of Doom is Lone Wolf, which is another game book. Kind of like the fighting fantasy type of stuff. Obviously, with the whole stories of them, it's basically the story progresses as you go along. I enjoyed most of their books. Wait, I'm trying to remember. This one was meh for me. But I still enjoyed it. Oh, shit, what's this? I think this one's called The Yellow Wallpaper or something like that. I need to have a look 1 second, because I don't remember what it's called. One moment. I think it's called The Yellow Shadow or The Yellow Wallpaper. It's an old book that I read many years ago that I reread. It's only like 5 or 6 pages. Let me have a quick look 1 second, because I don't remember a lot of things. Where is it? One moment. Where is it? Everything's out of sync. I can find this. So I'm trying to remember the book name. I wish the pictures were bigger on here. Shadows on the Wall, that's what it's called. Shadows on the Wall. Mary E. Wilkins Freeman. Released many, many years ago. I remember I read it originally in high school, and I kind of was obsessed with it. God, when was it out originally? I don't know. We have Kind of Faith. Kind of Faith. Fantastic. It's about how this woman comes home to a family home where her 2 other sisters are, and a brother, but one brother has died, and that's why she's come back. And something's not right in the house since, and how there's always this extra shadow on the wall. When it's just them in the room, there's another shadow on the wall, basically hinting at something terrible happened to the brother. That yes, he has passed, but it's not the passing that that originally happened, and it was one of them that did it. And it's gothic and creepy and builds up beautifully. I don't know what the yellow wallpaper is. I just see yellow. Liked the read, it was good. Short, sweet, and simple. Loved it. The Final Girl Support Group by Grady Hendrix. This is See, I love and I hate Grady Hendrix. Some of his books make me really depressed, and then I get through the depressing bit, and then I really enjoyed the books. This one was just mentally unhinged, about how a girl is like the old like slasher movies. Oh, was it a true story? Oh, what's that one about, JJ? You let me know what that's about while I waffle on about the Final Girl support group. It's about these group of survivors who were literally like the final girls in a movie. And how they survived IRL, and then when they go to a meeting and they're all arguing and bickering like little old ladies, one of them they kind of realize that one of them isn't there, and that's kind of unusual, and they all quickly find out that they've been killed, they were murdered, and everyone decides to split off, do their own thing, apart from our main girl. She's unhinged and has like PTSD from what happened to her, goes on this huge tirade of trying to figure out what's happened and that everyone else is going to be in danger, while also being mentally unstable. It was an okay read. It wasn't my favorite, but it was still a good read for me. I'm actually going to slap that at C. I enjoyed How to Sell a Haunted House more, even though that one took me about 3 to 4 months to read because it made me so fucking depressed. But I enjoyed the story when I read it. You hated that book so much. Yes, it's oh, shit. I really want to read it. Why are you offended? What happens in the book, Witchy? Is it really that bad? The Static, we did that as a live Call of Cthulhu solo playing game where we all did choices of how we're going to survive from this eldritch monster, and how Static is somewhat kind of infused, and you get 2 playthroughs through it. You can pick between which character and how it's going to end. We only did one through Alex, I believe the character was called, which I think is actually the female we played through and not the male. But it was fun, we enjoyed it, and it was creepy. So I'm actually going to slap that up at S. It was a good read. I really enjoyed that. This is all about writing women. It's about witches. I'm a witch. I know you're a witch. And I love you. Take it with a little bit of salt. A little grain of salt. Bride. Now, this is where me and Ven argue. Because Ven bought the book first in front of me. We went out shopping for books. He brought back Bride at The Works, which is a shop in Manchester, and then he kept telling me to read it and to buy it because something happens in it. Now, he's not read it, he just knows what happens in it because he likes to read like the last page of a book because he's weird. So I went out buying it. I know I'm saying you haven't read it, but you've told me to. And I actually really enjoyed Bride. I enjoyed the story. Obviously, most things you kind of know what's coming, but there's certain bits in it that are really funny. There's certain banter in it, and I fell in love with the book pretty hard and pretty fast. So I'm actually going to put that up at A because I really did enjoy that. It gets me so worked up, and that's understandable and absolutely fine, because if people don't do their research and they write about something, who knows? I saw a review that said he wrote women quite well in that book. Is it really that bad? Ooh, I sometimes read the last page. Why do you do that? Because Ven does this thing where he'll read the last page, the middle, and then like a random page or something in the beginning. And it's weird, because you're ruining things for yourself. Don't you want to have the experience of going through the story and the adventure? I want to be surprised. I want to be shocked. Shocked, I say. Oh, I haven't read it yet, but I've read 2 of his books, and each time the women relationships in them are awful. No girls. If you get my meaning. Ah, okay, got you. I got you. I understand completely. So we have So Thirsty, which I read very recently, about how this woman has a cheating fiance, and he sets up a getaway weekend for her and her best friend while he goes and cheats, and she has like it on camera and stuff, and she like loses her mind. and then vampires are involved and they get turned into vampires. But the only reason why they're turned into vampires is because stupidity, and you can either die or turn into a vampire. Hi, I only read the end when it's going to be a DNF. I mean, fair. That's a good way of doing it. But no, apparently Ven and Darkstar are just twisted. How you doing? And the whole book is basically instant love romance between her and this old vampire, while her friend constantly talks about how very thirsty she is and how they feel the thirst. And it was poo-poo. I did not enjoy So Thirsty. It was bad. It was bad for me. I did not enjoy it. It was just... The best friend shouldn't have been a best friend because she was extremely toxic. It was a really toxic friendship between the two women. And it's just, I get that you're a vampire and you're trying to deal with things, but you're going down the wrong route that isn't logical here. I hated this book with a passion. But I basically wrote a message in this book and I handed it into our little free book donations. And I wrote a note saying, like, I hope you enjoy this, and someone's gonna hopefully enjoy it more than me. Like, for real. Oh, I didn't. Oh, it was bad. Not gonna lie. Sounds like I might enjoy it. This is the thing, that we all have our own opinions, and if it's something that you enjoy, like, I hope you do. I want you to do a review. I want you to tell me why you enjoyed it and all the bits that you enjoyed about the book. I love stuff like that. I love it when people have different opinions and you can be like, it's really bad because they really shouldn't be friends with how toxic it is. Like, for real. But if you enjoy it, definitely let me know. Give it a go. Just because I didn't enjoy it doesn't mean that other people won't enjoy it, you know? You know what I mean? You know where I'm coming from? Get where I'm going? It's okay to enjoy something I don't enjoy. These two books are Lone Wolf. I enjoyed them. They're always a good time. I'm actually going to go straight to Fourth Wing here. Fourth Wing is the first ever fantasy book that I ever read, and dragons. Absolutely loved it. Ven got me into Fourth Wing. I really enjoyed Fourth Wing. I thought it was fantastic. Got towards the end of the book with what happens with the character Liam. It's weird. I don't get emotional with books. I don't cry over characters, but I got upset about a character because I actually ended up caring about a character, which was a weird feeling for me. I really, really, really did enjoy Fourth Wing. So I'm going to put that at S. Love the book. Ew. I hope you can get it, Witchy. Rings of Power is the only different opinions that make no sense to me. I've not watched Rings of Power yet. Iron Flame is the second book of Fourth Wing. The first half of the book was just kind of back and forth between Violet and Xaden. Kind of frustrating because it was like, we've gone through this already, now the roles have reversed and it's the same thing. But when you get past that, I really did enjoy the book. And the bit with the mum, like, I was kind of like, oh, it did need a trim down, but I still enjoyed it. I'm actually going to pop Iron Flame here. I'm excited for Onyx Storm. I can't wait to read it whenever my book decides to arrive. It's romance with dragons, and I'm there for it, JJ. I'm there for the romance with dragons, okay? The fandom won't come for you. They're too busy with Onyx Storm. Perfect. I hope mine arrives soon, I'm not gonna lie. I got the special edition Frayed Edges, and I really want it in my hands. Playground, which is an extreme horror splatterpunk. This book was twisted. There were certain bits that made me heave because of it had things to do with babies and not babies. Grooming, I guess you could say, with a guy who wasn't really a bad guy, but the woman was. Unhinged, I'm gonna sneeze, that's what I'm gonna do. 1 second. Sorry, bless me. I enjoyed the idea of some of the things they had to go through, like the tube slide with the saws in it, and how some of the characters died in it. I actually really did enjoy Playground. I thought it was brilliant. I still haven't read Fourth Wing yet. Waiting for library and taking way too long. Oh, that sucks, Jodie. I hope you managed to get your hands on it. I bet it does, yeah. I haven't read any of them. I wave as they pass me by. You did? Was it like a queen wave, or was it like a wave? I actually really enjoyed Playground. I enjoyed it a lot. Though some bits was like uncomfortable. Slapping it there. I'm running out of space. Oh, a queen wave. Okay, you have another 4,000 books to read anyway, Jenny. That's true. So, Dead Inside. This was recommended to me by Bad the Rad. I actually really enjoyed this. It had certain bits that I don't have a gag reflex, but I heaved. Like, it made me feel very sick to my stomach, especially when it came to things to do with one of the things that a person. So, it's between two characters. The guy is basically into certain necrophilia, and the woman is into eating undead children. And there's a certain bit that happens between them as they decide to kind of be romantic, but not. That involved describe it. It wasn't good. It fell apart. It was dead and it fell apart, and it was but it was interesting to read. I think you're like, we kept her in the cellar. I will definitely have a look at that. I still enjoyed the story, but it made me uncomfortable when it came to certain bits, and that's what the book was there for. Would I recommend this to people? I don't know, but I know that I enjoyed it. Yeah, that's why I'm struggling trying to talk about it. The worst bit is the rating that I'm going to give it, because I'm going to put it in A. Because it was... Oh, it does that. Okay, there we go. It was good. But it had certain bits where I was like really cut that I had to close the book, have a break, and then I continued. And it's rare for me to do that with a book. Like, I've read some shit, unfortunately. Like, the past few years, the extreme horror, I've read some extreme horror. And this was one where I was like, oh, close the book, drink some water, have a break, come back to read it. But it's very well written, and the dynamic between the two characters of how they kind of interact was brilliantly written, and I loved that. That was so worth it. Weird to say, but obviously some bits, if there's certain things that trigger you, definitely look at them, because there's certain triggers in there that can really set a person off, so hold off before you read it. Is this All the Dead Lie Still? This is very much a gothic horror. Very well written. It's about how this woman comes to basically look after a couple of kids. Kind of like in The Whistling, but a lot better written and more modern. And how one of the sisters arrives home, and it's kind of got necromancy and flowers involved in it. And the way that the characters interact with each other and how the story unfolds, like a flower going into bloom, very well done. I actually really enjoyed this. I'm actually going to slap it in B, because I know that at the same time I love my gothic horror and how well it's written. I know that I still enjoyed it. I will probably read it again, but I wouldn't push it up among the others. But I still enjoyed it. It's a good read. If you're into the kind of gothic horror with a type of sort of unnatural gift with necromancy and flowers, and how a family is dealing and coping with loss of people, it's a good read. It's really good. I love all the triggers, JJ. I don't think you would. Ghost Station by S.A. Barnes. I actually really enjoyed this book. I've got it in hardback. I remember I ordered it and it took way too long to arrive. I think it was about a month late, even though I pre-ordered it, and I don't know what happened. They took their time sending it to me. Fantastic book. Well read, well written. I like how the characters interact with each other. You get a bit of time with each character to kind of understand them and how they deal and cope and talk, and their personalities between each character. Very well written, and it has that certain aspect of creepiness as well as things start to happen around them. I loved it so much. I enjoyed it a lot more than Dead Silence. Dead Silence was just, I knew what was happening and I was bored. At the beginning, I was like, ooh, the way that this, like, oh, I'm just gonna start this here. Dead Silence, the way that things were described were really creepy, but I knew what was happening, I knew what was coming, and I was bored at the same time, but certain things were described really well. But I'm actually gonna slap that down. I'm not gonna read it again. I expected more. I'm slapping that a D. Dead Silence should have been 2 novellas. I would have probably enjoyed that a lot more, to be honest. It was so predictable. As soon as you know they talk about a certain thing, instantly you're like, oh, well, there it is, it's ruined. And it was just that constantly through. I wanted more from it in a really weird way. Feybound. Feybound was my first Fey fantasy, romantasy, whatever they call it. Before I read that before I even got into Fourth Wing. Fantastic, well written, good diversity, good LGBTQ representation, and obviously it goes with kind of like the way that magic works in the world of Feybound is beautiful and brilliant, and the way that the world is kind of explained to you so you understand what's going on and the lore kind of comes out. I absolutely really enjoyed this, and the fact that it's also got maps in there as well. The second book, because this is, I don't know how many books are going to be in this series. The second book, Cursebound, is coming out, I think it's in March, so I'm really excited for that. I still have Feybound to read. The second book is out this year too. Yeah, I think it's in March, so I think it's near the 20th of March, so I'm going to get it myself for my birthday. So, I want a book equivalent of Event Horizon. Yes, JJ, for sure. I don't know. I always struggle with audio stuff, and I don't know why. But Feybound, absolutely fantastic. Loved it. Absolutely recommend it. It's so good, and it's so beautiful, the world in it. Love it. Heads Will Roll is it Josh Winning who wrote this? It's a homage. I need to read Feybound. A few people don't think I will like it, oddly. I don't know. I think you'd like certain aspects of the world. I think you'd find interest in how the magic works in Feybound, because it's all to do with kind of like, in certain kind of bits of it, it's how would I describe it? Music, in a way. Feybound is basically about, there's this, humans, fairies, and elves. Sorry, Fae and elves. Fae are just these horrible nightmares that are used to tell bedtime night horror stories to children, as there's like this unending war going on, and they don't exist. Humans don't exist, so it's basically just elves fighting amongst different branches of elves. And the main character basically realizes that as she kind of gets cast out, no, then that's not right. That, yeah, these nightmares and these stories we're told to grow up with, like, yeah, for sure, but they do exist. They're not just these stories we were told as kids, and it goes off the hinges then. And there is politics, and I actually enjoyed the politics for once. Heads Will Roll by Josh Winning, absolutely fantastic. Homage to, like, the stereotypical 80s slasher type of horror movies, but also set in modern times, where someone posts something on social media and they go to this camp getaway, as it's called, to get away from social media and just people, to kind of reinvent themselves a little bit and center themselves. And there is this chilling camp story about Knock Knock Nancy. When you hear a knock at your cabin door, don't answer it, because it's Knock Knock Nancy coming for your head. And I really enjoyed this, how it kind of played on the characters and how some of the characters interacted in certain situations and how their thought process was. Fantastic. I loved this. I'm actually going to put it quite high. I'm going to put that at S. There's my books! So, what does everyone think of that? I think that's actually really nicely well-rounded, I think, for me. A lot of the books that, when I first uploaded them onto Goodreads, they've changed places, because of, like, obviously it's been a bit of time and I've thought about them. But, I think I'm happy with this. It's a real Fae then, finally. Seriously, you don't understand. It's so good. Thank you. I didn't. I expected everything to be kind of like pushed a lot higher because I tend to be very lenient with my stars and tiering. But this is good. This is good. I think this is good. This is a good little little read. I like it. I like it. But there we go. That is my tears. I didn't spend 4 hours like Ben does. More balanced than mine. How was yours balanced? Because I've never been able to stay on there fully because I think normally I kind of burn and crash out before you finish yours. I think I normally end up joining like midway and I'm like, what's going on? I had more books. I mean, fair and understandable. I think I've done this pretty well. I think I've been pretty fair with my ratings. I will send you the pic. Thank you. Peanut's here. Yes, Peanut. But there we go. It's a nice chill little online talk and chat. Very chill book talk. There we go. That's it. That's me at where I am. Is there anything in that other people would change their rating on at all, or no? I rarely give less than 3 stars. I'm usually quite good at knowing what I like. Other people's choice for what I read is where things get interesting. Understand? No, Akatar is staying there. And I know when I do my 2025 book reads, you're gonna hate it even more. Understandable though, JJ. My voice is breaking all over the place. Ugh. I have a sip of my H2O. Jurassic Park would be higher for you. The only reason why it's so low is because the just chaos theory being thrown in my face. I hated it. I hate that so much. You would change Fourth Wing. Understandable. I enjoyed these. I enjoyed them. I think it's weird that there's not a lot of horror on there because normally I'm a horror reader. So the fact that it's such a mixed bag of genres there, it's pretty interesting. I don't know if Dark Academia is my cup of tea, but I know that I will try again. Oh yeah, our reading preferences are definitely different. I think your rankings make sense. Thanks, Witchy. I burned Fourth Wing. Don't you dare, JJ. I enjoyed it. I like dragons. Can't go wrong with dragons. But there we go. That's it. That's what I've got at the moment. You'd move Jurassic Park up. Really? What did you like most about Jurassic Park? Ugh. Sent it. Thank you. Let me have a look. Whoa, that's a huge tier list of that. Jesus Christ. The science bit's Oh, strange. I was like, strangly? What? Resolution is rubbish. That's fine. It's all good, then. I enjoyed the science bit. The science bit wasn't the worst part. It was just chaos theory, chaos theory, chaos theory. It's like, yes, I understand chaos theory, but tell me about the other things, you know? I did enjoy how some of the people died, though, so that's always a good time. I like the raptor scenes. Yes! The raptor bit, kitchen bit was actually kind of brilliant, but I also hated the child, so I was kind of like, no, die. I'm not big on magical / dark academics, but I did enjoy A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. I need to finish that series. I can see I'm not a huge fan of them either. That's probably why I struggled with Atlas 6 so much. But I'm tempted to try again. Because maybe that just wasn't the right style of it for me. Do you know what I mean? So I will be having a look more. I know Ven has the other book of the series of Atlas 6, but I can't remember what it's called. I don't know if he's ever read that. This is because I wasn't expected to like it, but ended up giving it 4 stars. Oh wow, fair. I think I actually gave Jurassic Park 4 stars on Goodreads. I think some time's passed and it was just all I remember so much is how much chaos theory was shoved down my throat. And the oh shit when they realized there was a lot more dinosaurs than there should have been. Yes. And they were like, you know what it was though? Them bits were fantastic about these different scenes of different areas where these little lizards were like causing all these havocs and people experience them was fantastic of a build up. Which I loved in the book. But when the fact that they were like, they can't be because they're all the same gender, and it was like, well, clearly they're not because your computers aren't adding like the other dinosaurs. And then they realized when they did the computer did the map, it was like, oh, there's quite a few more, and it was like, see, told you. Yeah. The swimming T-Rex. Oh, the swimming T-Rex made me giggle too. Absolutely, that's one of my favorite little bits about it as well. The opening chapter is my favorite. This is gonna sound really bad. It's one of my favorite chapters in the book. I wanted more of that experience throughout the rest of it, but we did kind of get that throughout them, but they were so overshadowed by how the kids talked and were just whiny little bitches, and I was like, stop it, let me experience it. It was like when one kid's telling the other kid to shut up, and I'm like, you both shut up, both be quiet. Life finds a way, exactly. But the wonderful scene with it just waiting for them to fall. Yeah, just there like, hey. The tongue bit was weird. It was like... The tongue bit was in that book, wasn't it? Yeah, I'm sure it was. Bizarre. Bizarre. But, you know, it is what it is. But I'm going to leave it there because I'm going to go and take some painkillers and chill. Because I'd be in pain, so I'm gonna go and deal with that. But thank you so much for joining me for this little tier thing. I really appreciate it. Oh, the film definitely did change it for the better, but I kind of wished that more people died in it like the books did, and I wish that it showed more of like, obviously we had one of the opening chapters was of the kid getting attacked by the dinosaurs, which was Miss Yang, who played it in the movie as a kid. Was it Vera Wang? I think it was. I wish they added more of the chapters of the different people experience, especially with the hospital scenes. I wish they added that to the movies. That would have been fantastic and really dark and twisted and really built up more of the horror that it could have brought more with. But fantastic film. Fantastic. But, like I said, I'm going to leave it here. Thank you so much for joining me, you beautiful people. I really appreciate it. I don't know when my next reading sprint's going to be. Probably at the weekend at some point. I do believe Ven tomorrow is doing a reading sprint because it's his day off. So I know I'm going to be lurking in Ven's reading sprint that day, tomorrow. So much love to you all. Thank you so much for giving me your inputs, what your thoughts are and opinions are. And stay awesome, you beautiful people. Much love. Thank you. There we go. 5 PM GMT tomorrow. Good plan. Right. Love everyone and make good choices. I will see you all tomorrow in Ven's reading sprint. Bye bye.